Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm just going to do a little bit of a craft with me type session. I am making some doily flowers and I thought I would pop on and share my little process with you. So far I've only created two. And there's different layers. They're mostly doilies. I have like some curtain lace in here. And there's some tulle and some eyelash trim. And then as far as embellishments, this was a piece of like broken jewelry I used right there. And this was just some sort of embellishment that I got in some Happy Mail. Just like a little flat back piece of bling. And this one was built pretty much the same as this one, just, you know, different doilies and stuff. And so I have a few kind of laying throughout my desk, and that's usually when I make these. I like to mass produce a few at a time. So, and as far as supplies, if you want to craft along with me, I do have, like I said, lots of doilies that I've kind of laid out in little piles. I also have like some like curtain lace, and I have like just some remnants left over from past projects that I just cut up into circles in case I want to use them on these. I also have just really snippets of lace. You can see they're not even, you know, anything spectacular, just snippets. I also have circles of this type of lace also cut up. Just again, just leftover pieces from other projects, and then I cut them up into circles to use onto flowers. I also have tulle cut up into circles. And let's see, I also have some eyelash trim. I have a container of different types of bling and flowers to use as centers. There are, like, I have a cameo in here. I have some junk jewelry. I have some fun little cabochons that I get from my friend Kim at Angel Dreams Crafts Kim on Etsy. So those make fun centers for flowers. So I usually have those sitting on my desk. I do have some buttons that I picked up recently at Hobby Lobby. And then I also have my hot glue gun, and I also have some little felt circles that I cut out of scrap pieces of felt that I just use to start my flowers off. So my doily flowers. So first thing you're going to do is just have a circle, and some of these I didn't quite make into full circles here. I usually folded them up and try and cut a couple at a time. And as you can see, they're not perfect circles. They don't have to be. And so I'm just going to grab a pile here, and we'll just start playing with that one. And sometimes I mix and match. I grab stuff from other piles if I need to. So this one, I usually start off with bigger and then go smaller for my doilies. And so I'm just going to put just a little bit of glue at the base of this one and just attach it like that. And at this point, if you wanted to, you could add some more lace, which I think I'm going to do that. I like the look of the lace. And the hot glue is still kind of wet, so I don't need to add any more. I'm going to then put another piece of doily on top. Oops. Then sometimes I try while the glue is still kind of drying. I might just kind of push in a little bit, and that just adds just a little bit more fluff to it. And let's see, next maybe I'm going to take some eyelash trim, and I'm just going to just kind of ball it up and put it on the layer right here. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Then I'm going to go ahead and add another layer of doily. These are really easy flowers to make. If you wanted to make more of like a snippet looking one, you could go ahead and like lay out some different lace or remnants left from different lace projects. But I don't think I'm going to use any of this today. I'm just kind of looking for just some doily flowers. And let's see what else. I still have a couple more that I can add on here. I think I'm going to add a layer of tulle. And this one's kind of a bigger circle. I know it's really hard to see on camera. So I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. So I'm just going to fold it in half and just make a little bit smaller of a circle from this one. So I'm going to glue that down. And then I'm going to put another doily on top. And I find my doilies often at thrift stores. I take apart like larger projects to make smaller ones. You can also buy them. There's a lot of different Etsy stores that sell them. There's also a store that I buy from, Craft Supplies for You or KS for You. And Julie, her name is Julie too. Her store, she has grab bags of doilies. And also you can buy like, you know, 8, 10 of them in a package. So she would be another good resource. So I will try and remember to link her store below in the description box if you guys are interested. And then let's see, I'm going to put another layer on here, but I think I'm going to add some more eyelash trim. I love using eyelash trim on my projects. And again, I just cut it up and just kind of roll it up and stick it down. And then I'm going to add this last one to the top. And then I think it's ready for a flower center or some sort of centerpiece in the middle of this. Now, if you want, you can layer in, like if you are using lace snippets or something, you could, you know, fold it up. And if you wanted it to stick up a little bit more, you could fold it up and, like I would fold it kind of like that. And I would layer it inside one of these layers. And that would just kind of poof up your flower a little bit more if you wanted to do that. So now to decide on a center for our flower. You know, you can buy ribbon roses kind of like this, or there's packages of these loopy trim. Those are really fun to put in the middle. If you have like appliques like this, those look really cute in the middle. This is actually like a brad from paper crafting. I could put that in the middle. Sometimes some of these are a little too big. This is actually a pin, and that seems too big. This is an earring. And I was thinking, you know, eventually I'll use that as a flower center on something. I have this really nice bling piece. I get that again from Kim at Angel Dreams Crafts Kim, which I'll link her store below too. I love her blings and stuff that she carries in her store. I have a cameo. That's a little big for this project. I do like that. Some flat back pearls, and I buy those usually at Hobby Lobby. That looks kind of nice. Seeing what I have in here. I have kind of a nice little shabby vintage looking glass cabochon. That's again from Kim shop. I kind of like that. Or just a little piece of, oftentimes I just like to put a little piece of bling in the middle. So I think I'd be happy with that one or this one. I think I'm going to go with a little piece of bling this time. And then oftentimes also when I do some of these projects like this, I will save the center and not add it until I'm actually putting it on my project. So, because sometimes just depending upon what type of project you have, maybe later on you're like, oh, I wish I would have put a piece, piece of pearl in it because that would match my project a little better. So sometimes I just make these and I don't add the centers until I'm ready to use them on a project. So you have that option too. So that's how that one turned out. So these are usually kind of a nice, if you have lots of doilies, these are a nice quick little project that you can do in an afternoon. And so this one, I actually cut out the center for something. So let me see if I have a bigger circle to start with. I don't know if I can get this one to fit around the edge here. We'll make it fit. So I'm just going to put glue around the outside of my little felt circle. Again, it's not quite a perfect circle, but that's okay. And what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to scrunch up this doily. And that also is going to kind of build up the layers and make it a little more poofy in the end. So it doesn't look very pretty yet, but we'll add some more layers and it'll probably look really nice. So let's see, I had picked out this layer next. So yeah, we'll put that one down. And then maybe again, I'm going to add a layer of lace. This one's a little bigger than what I want, so I'm just going to trim it again. Sometimes when I'm bored in my craft room, I will just sit and cut out circles like this. Or if I don't really have a specific project or I'm not really feeling my crafty mojo, that's kind of something that I like to prep and have ready to go so that when I do sit down to do projects like this, I already have circles already made. There's all sorts of different flowers you can make, lace flowers you can make starting off with circles. So circles are kind of a nice little way to make flowers and stuff. So it's kind of a good project to do if you're not feeling your crafty mojo. I'm just going to cut this one. I think I took a little too much, so I'm just going to cut it in half. The only downfall about making these flowers, at least for me, is I get a lot of glue on my fingernails and fingers, but I do love how they turn out, and they're so fun to use on different projects. You can also, of course, layer up if you want to add material into these. You could also do that. But again, my main purpose today was to use up some of my doilies. So and this was like a remnant from the inside or the middle of a doily flower. So, or a doily flower, a doily. We're trying to make flowers. So I'm just going to glue that one down. And I'm not quite sure what these little pink things are called, but I think I found this like at Michael's somewhere. And they're just meant to protect your fingers a little bit from hot glue. If it's too hot. I think I'm going to put that little one in the middle, but I want some more eyelash trim. sticking out. So I'm going to do that. There's a little too much eyelash trim, so I'm just going to trim a little bit of that. Yeah, I like how that one turned out too. So let's make another one. Let's see which one I want to do here. Well, let's make a little bit bigger one. This one I kind of had laid out already, so let's start off with this one with a little bit bigger circle. And again, you can see this one, the doilies are a little bit bigger, so you're going to end up with a bigger flower. And this is just like a remnant off of a doily or something that was cut apart. I think I got that in a grab bag. So I'm not really quite sure what it originally came off of, but I thought it'd make a fun base for a flower. And I might add, I have these little circles I made from the lace curtains that came from lace curtains. I'm going to add one of those. I think there was still enough hot glue that should stick okay. What else? I could put that one on next. I hope everyone's doing well. I spent my morning outside with my husband working on yard work. And I'm taking the afternoon off to play in my craft room. So it's always a good day when you get to spend time in your craft room, that's for sure. Not quite sure. Next week I think I might have jury duty next week if I get picked, I guess. So we'll see about that. But so I might not get too much crafting time in next week. I always like to try and spend, a few hours every week in my craft room. Sometimes I'll just pop up. My craft room is separate now from my house. And I do like to try and pop up for, most days I try and pop up for, a little bit of a half hour or so, even if it's just to put something away or organize something. Sometimes it'll be a few days before I get to craft up in my craft room if we have a lot of projects or when we're busy with work. I do travel, so of course the days I'm traveling I don't get to be in my craft room. But when we're at home and working from home, it's a little bit easier because we don't have the commute or anything like that for traveling. So I feel like I always have extra time on my hands then. So I'm kind of liking how that one's turning out so far. Just trying to see if I need a little bit more of something. Maybe I'll add a layer again of lace, I think. This one almost reminds me, the back of this one almost reminds me of like a snowflake or something. Which I might have an embellishment that looks like a snowflake. I might have to go see if I can find that real quick. Because maybe I'll put that, originally I was going to use this. I had this piece left over from something that I had already glued the doily on. So maybe I'll use that on something else, because since this one looks like a snowflake, I think it might be fun to put something like that in the middle. So I'm going to go see if I can find that real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, I did find the one that I was thinking about, which is this one, and I got that one from Kim's shop. But I'm thinking it's just a little too small. It would probably look nicer on one of these smaller ones, so maybe I will end up using it on one of these other ones. I also had this one that came from Hobby Lobby. It's a little bit darker, like antique silver color, but I didn't like that look. I did find this one also in my stash when I was looking for that other this one that I thought looked like a snowflake. But I think this is the one I'm going to use. I really like that one. So I'm going to go ahead with that one. Again, I think I'm going to put a little bit of eyelash trim in the middle of this one. I know what it is. I just really like the look of eyelash trim on stuff. It just, to me, adds just a little bit more to your final project. Ooh, I like that one. I think that's my favorite one so far. What do you guys think? And then when I was also digging out those other bling embellishments, I found this really fun one that someone had gifted me. I love this one. If anybody knows where you can purchase this one, if someone's selling it on their Etsy store or something, let me know, because this one I think is going to be really cute. I saved it for a special project or something, so I think I'm going to use that in the middle of one of these because I think that would look really cute in the middle of one of these ones. I think maybe that one. So maybe we'll do one more together, and then I'll probably just turn the camera off and make the last couple, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 5. So I'll make one more with you guys, and then I'll just kind of show at the end of the video everything that I made, because once you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. You just vary whatever makes you happy in the middle of these, but they're so much fun to make. This one, like I said, I can't stop looking at that one. I love that one. If you make really big doilies, you can add, if you have really big doily flowers, you can add bigger pieces of jewelry in the middle. This one's actually an applique that came off of something. And I thought that one would be fun to put in the middle of one. So I'm going to do that one too. But let's do this one together, and then I'll make the other ones. So this one starts off with that doily. So see, again, just going to put a little glue on the base of that felt piece. And you wouldn't necessarily even have, for your first piece, you wouldn't necessarily even have to put the felt if you didn't want to. I just find this easier when I go to glue it on to other projects, that it's nice to have the felt piece on the back. So that's usually why I do put a little piece of felt. If you don't have felt, you could also use like even a piece of paper or a piece of material. So like that. Let's see. I think I'm going to put down a layer of lace first. Now, and if you want, you can kind of scrunch it up a little bit if you want to try to add a little more height to your doily flowers. You can kind of scrunch up some of the doilies, or when you add little pieces of lace like that. I'll hold it up so you can maybe see. That adds a little bit of height, so I do that sometimes too. Because see, now when I glue this one down, this one's going to want to stick up a little bit. I think again I'm going to put some eyelash trim. And I just kind of smoosh it down, so hopefully you guys can see that. I mean, it doesn't look really pretty when you just look at it right now, but once you add the layers, it looks nice sticking out. So I'm going to add this little doily into the middle. Here is kind of another little connector piece that came from some sort of doily. So I think I'm going to add that one next. The other nice thing about these doily, when you're making these doily flowers, is you get to use up bits and pieces like this that you might not use anywhere else on projects. The little connector pieces, but they make nice little layers inside of your, like that one now that it had the hole in the middle. When I stick this one in, it's going to make it stick up a little bit more. So I do like that. That turned out kind of cute. I'll do this one. And I kind of like to mix up like my creams and ecru colors with the white doilies. It's just nice combination to kind of intermix your colors. You could of course make these if you have colored doilies, and that would give it a whole different look. You could also add like a center that has some color to it, and of course that's going to give it a whole different look. And there was one other thing I did want to show you. I'm not going to do it on this one, but if for some reason you don't have bling or junk jewelry that you're cutting apart, or a button or a flower like this to put in the middle, these beads are a little bit too big, but you could glue down like 2 or 3 beads in the middle like this, and you would have a really nice center. So if you have some little pearls like that, you could do that too. But I would go with slightly smaller than these ones, because that's a little big. But I've done that also in the middle. I have a little piece of eyelash trim sitting here that I didn't use on the other one. So let's put that in the middle. And I really want to use this one. I want to say I got this one from Tammy in a swap. But I think that, yeah, that one's really cute. This one looks like a middle of a flower. Ooh, I love it. Very cute. So I think I'm going to go ahead and assemble the last few that are sitting on my desk, and then I will just come back and show you those along with one more peek at the few that we made together. So I will be back shortly. So I am back. I finished those last few and I'll share those with you in a second. And I did want to show you one little quick tip on one of the things I do like to do with these flowers is sometimes when I attach a gift to somebody and I put it in a bag, I will purchase these little hair clips like this, and I'll maybe attach the flower to the top of the bag. And I just wanted to show you real quick how you can attach one of these to the back of one of the doily flowers. And this is one of the reasons why I like using the felt or a piece of material or something back there. So what I normally would do then is I would put hot glue back here. I would open up my hair clip and I would glue just the bottom part down. And then I would also take another piece of felt or material, whatever you're using, piece of paper, and put that over it. And then you have a nice little like clip that you can use to attach to a bag, a gift bag, or to a project. You could also maybe attach it to the cover of a spine of a junk journal, something like that. And then kind of on the same idea of the hair clip, I also like sometimes I will wrap Happy Mail to my friends and I will like wrap it in linens, and then I'll put a bow or ribbon around it. Like here's some nice ribbon that I got. But if I want to attach a flower, but I want the person to be able to use the flower for something else, what I would do then is, and I would probably have with these ones a slightly smaller ribbon, but this one just happened to be sitting on my desk, is I would lay the ribbon down like this. It doesn't really matter which side's showing. Maybe we'll go like that. And then I would put a little glue just right up at the top right here. And then a little bit of glue right here so that this part moves freely. But then I would glue, you need a circle about the same size as the one underneath. But then I would glue this one on top, so there should only, in theory, be glue right on each edge. And then this would move freely here in the middle so that the recipient could take the ribbon out and use it for something else. But then you also would have a pretty little flower on a ribbon, and again you could very easily use this like on a cover of your junk journal and be able to use this as your closure, but then someone could still take this off if they wanted to, or you could wrap it around a gift like I do with like the linens, and again, the recipient could take out the ribbon and use the ribbon for something else, and then they'd also still have the flower to use on another project if they wanted to. So I just wanted to show those quick little things or ideas before I showed you the final flowers, and then I'll also show you the other ones that we did together. So this is one of the flowers that I made. And this one, what I did a little bit different is that I thought it looked a little flat. So what I did is, you can see the tulle right here that I stuck. And with that one, I just took a piece of tulle and I just kind of folded it just however, and I just kind of scrunched it up a little bit in my fingers like this. And then I would stick it in between the layers of the 2 layers of doilies. And so I would just stick it in there and glue it in. And then when I was all done, I just kind of snipped it so it was somewhat even around. So that's one way to make your flowers pop up a little bit if they didn't look like they popped up. So I did that on this one. And once I popped it up with the tulle on that one, I really liked it. I also did this one. And again, someone had gifted me this little piece in the middle, which I kind of liked the look of that inside of my doily flower. Then I did go ahead and add that cute little like snowflake style bling piece to the middle of this one. And then this one was the other one that I had said I used. This was an applique piece that I put for my center. And again, they're all made exactly the same with layers of tulle and lace and lots of doilies, a little bit of eyelash trim. And then just to show you again all the ones that we created together, or the ones that I showed at the beginning of the video. This one, the eyelash trim is getting stuck on the bling, the metal pieces of the bling, but that's okay. So there's that one. This pretty little one. This one with the center that I adore. I just love that center on that one. This was one that I had showed you at the beginning, and I just used a piece of jewelry that had broken apart. So that one was just kind of a simple little center on that one. And then this one. I think I showed you this one too also at the beginning. These are the 2 that I showed at the beginning, I believe. And then here was the one that we also created together. And this one, of course, is my favorite. So that's why I saved that one till the end to show you guys again. That one's still my favorite out of all the ones that I created today. Thank you everyone so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed my little craft with me session. If you have any comments, please leave them below, or also if you have any other ideas on how you use these doily flowers, I would love to hear that also. So please pop that in the comments below. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.